Our first speaker after that is Tiro. Tiro, are you ready? Cool. So before Tiro comes up, Stefan Labaskakni, I believe you are the evaluator for Tiro's speech. Can you give us the criteria, please?
Yes. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance his speech. During the completion of this project, the member has spent time learning about practicing their body language, including gestures and other non-verbal communication, along with the vocal variety, including pace, tone, pitch, and volume. And that concludes my objectives for the speech, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank
The
you.
timing is 5 to 7 minutes, and the title is Mona Ha Lele, meaning man does not cry. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Please help me welcome Tiru. Mona hala, and I haven't practiced this. Hala lele. Mona hala lele. Tiru Musinyani.
Munna Ali. Munna Ali. It's a phrase I genuinely hate. Even just saying it myself, I get sick to my stomach. It's a toxic phrase and it's poisoned people. It's poisoned a lot. It's regardless of where you live, your religion, race, you know this phrase, and it's a toxic phrase. It means man doesn't cry. Or in other ways you've heard it, men shouldn't cry, men don't cry. It's a phrase I hate for two reasons actually. First reason being, I know it is a Sotho phrase. I do not like the Sotho language just because of personal experiences. Like, it's one of those type of languages where I have to focus to listen. 1 minute distraction and I don't know what you're talking about. Another reason is because well, first of all, I was fortunate enough. I've never had this phrase said to me unless it was a joke, but I've witnessed what it does to people. You're taught, young men, I think a lot of the men here in this room, back when they were younger, they probably heard, men shouldn't cry, you should be strong, and I hate that. They're telling someone they should be strong, build up these walls, kind of leaves you vulnerable on the inside. Picture a snail that has a hard shell, but just with enough force you can crush it and it's gooey there. A man in an armor, give, I don't know, someone here, any of the men here, Humbulani, shiny armor, but poke him in his joints and it's just flesh. I hate the phrase, Muna Ali. I recently got to witness, so I am still currently witnessing this little thing go on. I'm going to be very vague about it. So just so that you do not have your own personal judgment or favoritism, favoritism on these two characters, I want you just to get a general picture. So there's person A and person B. They're both young men. What you might give them faces, someone like your nephews, some boy but I want you to take that away. Don't give them heights, don't give them faces, just give them just cause, right? Person A and person B are the same to the T when it comes to their core. They both love the same things, same foods, they're totally the same person, basically, except for their upbringings. One was told, express yourself. This is person A. Express yourself. Don't be afraid to cry, to tell people how you feel. And person B, Manali. These two people, at different times, different places, go through the same situation, a certain situation that changes them, whether it be, I want you to actually picture like some life-threatening situation, they just walked away with their lives. and now they both go to their respective places, right? They both go to their respective places, sit down in their beds, pull out their phones, and call. Person A calls his loved ones, tells them, this happened, 1, 2, 1, 2, I'm not feeling okay, please come pick me up. Right. Person B calls their loved ones and tells them, just come pick me up. Does not tell them why he wants to be picked up, just says come pick me up. Both of them acknowledge that where they want to go is their safe space. Sure, but then the reasons they go there are totally different. Person B goes to this safe space because it's a safe space, go there. Person A acknowledges that where they are right now isn't safe. So let me go back to my safe space. Yes, they both go to their safe spaces, but where they differ is when they come back. When they go back to these unsafe spaces, person A is more prepared. He left knowing what he left. So he's going back and he, makes some changes, prepares himself. Person B gets back and his mentality is, whenever this happens again, I can just go back. Sure, they go through their daily lives again. But there's a little difference. When one is confronted by this life-changing situation, he knows what to do now. He's talked it out, he's planned it, he let it, he's gotten advice. He's gotten advice. That's the main thing. Person B, situation happens, and what do? They run away. They run away and they come back. They're stuck in this cycle of running away and coming back, running away and coming back. And that's what I feel like the whole Monna Alele does to a person, being told you shouldn't cry. The way you face your problems is just linear. You run into it and you think, I'm going to run into it again, I'll run into it. Whereas, when you're taught how to express yourself, you're told, you instead of running into something, step to the side, do this, do that. It's not like life isn't ones and zeros. It's not basic. There are things you can do. So yes, Monna Alele, I feel like it's something that genuinely puts young men in boxes. I don't know how many, even, it's not even just young men actually. Men our age, I'm sorry, your guys' ages. Because how many of the men here can admit that they cry or they have some good way of releasing their energy? I'm not a saint either. I remember, for a good time, earlier on, one of the things I do now is words of affirmation to myself. But before I learned, what words of affirmation were, the closest thing I got to it was, stepping out the shower, just looking at myself in the mirror and just, flexing. Yeah, until I started focusing on my mental health. And how can I say this? And realizing, they are in an armor, right? You're soft inside. You're soft inside this armor, and you should. But then there are ways to making up, for these soft sides. Chainmail under, some leather under, and that's what I think this Monna Alele should be tossed out, and you should teach young men that you can cry, it's okay. You're not that strong. You're not always going to be the strongest person in the room. So work on yourself and turn it into. Thank you.
Well done.